What is up, guys? It is AJ from MMA Experts, and this is the UFC Vegas 12 Silva versus Hall DFS picks and breakdown. So let's get in to some fantasy MMA picks. This is the DraftKings app that we are going to be using. Let me shrink myself down, and let's get into some lineups. I'm going to give you two options of lineups that I myself am considering playing. Option one, we will come up with here first. Let me quickly pull it up on the phone. All right. So here we have for option one. I looked through everybody and I tried to get the best value. I wanted some favorites as well as some potential underdogs that could pull off, the upset. Because granted, you can't pick every favorite on the card, even if you think all those favorites are going to win with the DraftKings, game that they play. Because at the end of the day, the salary is going to run out. So first pick. I personally believe Bobby Green is a very strong and safe bet pick, so I added him to the lineup right away. I do think there's a chance he could also get a stoppage win in this matchup. Now, he's a guy that goes the distance a fair amount, but he does land a lot of strikes, and I think he will land a lot here. So on my lineup, I put Bobby Green number one. Now, the second guy I put on, I think Kevin Holland has a very high likelihood of knocking Charlie Ontiveros out. So for me, Kevin Holland was a strong pick, almost a necessary pick. Really, if you're not going to put Bobby Green on yours, I think Kevin Holland is almost like a lock. Like you need him on your lineup. As far as next after that, for me, I think Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell has a good potential of tapping out Andre Fili in this fight. I really think he has the potential to do so. So I'm going to add Bryce Mitchell to this lineup. So now we have three of our guys. We got three left. As far as now, getting down to the final three, it's a little bit more difficult, granted. So Adrian Yanez, if you don't know him, Dana White's Contender Series alumni. He's a savage. He's got big knockout power, and he's really entertaining. I think against Rodriguez, we're going to see Yanez knock him out. I really think there's a stoppage. It might not be in round one, but sometime before the final bell, a stoppage win. And at the end of the day, stoppages and significant strikes count for a lot here. I'll quickly also break down the scoring before I finish this off. Significant strikes are half a point. Advances are 3 points. Takedowns 5 points. Reversals or sweeps 5 points. And a knockdown is 10 points. As far as winning by round, first round wins score you 90 points. Second round 70 points. Third round 45. Fourth or fifth round wins are 40 points. And a decision is 30. So you want to get somebody that has a potential of a stoppage, not only just a win. Potentially getting stoppages. So my lineup here, I believe, as far as Holland and Yanez go, high likelihood. I think there's a good chance that we see Mitchell tap out Andre Fili. And now for Bobby Green and Thiago Moyes, it is a little bit trickier. And I could see people leaving Bobby Green off their lineup. And now looking down, the last two picks are honestly the hardest. With less salary cap remaining, I could add Greg Hardy, but then I'm going to probably get stuck with somebody that I really don't have a strong confidence towards. So I figured, let me pick Anderson Silva. Yes, there's a chance that we see Anderson lose this fight against Uriah Hall. There's definitely a legitimate chance that Uriah goes in and wins. But after watching the weigh-ins, Anderson's tall, he looks good. I can feel that Uriah Hall senses the magnitude of this fight. Not that Uriah Hall is a chronic underperformer, but he has underperformed in the past, and I'm going to take that into consideration here. For the next fight of the night, or rather the next pick of the night, it's going to be tough, right? Because now you have Maurice Green left. Ontiveros, I would not pick. Moyes, granted, do you want two guys? You're guaranteed a loss if you pick Moyes. You're guaranteed a win as well, but you're also guaranteed a loss. Chris Grutzmacher, Rodriguez over Yanez, no. You could maybe potentially put an argument for Jack Marshman. I know some people say they like Justin Ledet. But for me, I really have to sit down and think, okay, yes, I think Greg Hardy has a very high likelihood of winning against Maurice Green. But Maurice Green has a solid submission game, and we haven't really seen too much of Greg Hardy on the ground. Granted, how is he going to end up on the ground? Is he going to get taken down by Maurice Green? It's really difficult here. So for me, I was torn, and I still am somewhat torn between Maurice Green, and I would probably say, realistically, it might have to be Chris Grutzmacher because he's going to sit in and give Hernandez a tough fight. But my gut tells me go with Green, and that's who I decided to go with. that is lineup number 1 for me. I could see people disagreeing with that lineup, even myself. I mean, I would prefer not to have to put Maurice Green on the lineup. Not that he can't win. It's just I think Greg Hardy has a very legit chance to win that fight. But that's how fantasy MMA goes. You got to choose the best options available, not always exactly who you feel is going to guaranteed be victorious in there. But as far as the next lineup goes, this is a totally different lineup. It's a full remix now. Let me quickly X all this out here. All right. So looking down, I said, who can I add that brings something different to the table? If you don't like Anderson Silva in the main event, and there's a lot of people that really don't feel Anderson will win this fight, and the odds agree with that. They think Uriah Hall wins. Add Uriah Hall to that lineup because he can beat Anderson Silva here. Now, I like Bryce Mitchell guaranteed on both of my lineups. I really do. So I put Bryce Mitchell and Uriah Hall. So both lineups are going to have, or rather, Bryce Mitchell is on both lineups. Uriah Hall, obviously not on my first one. Now, I think Kevin Holland is a lock. As I said, I think you have to have Kevin Holland on your lineup. I think really it's almost a guarantee that he's victorious here. I think Yanez is another strong confidence pick of a stoppage. So now you're going to have your own choices, granted, but if you want to play it off what I'm thinking, looking down, I thought to myself, what are the odds of Maurice Green winning against Greg Hardy or Kevin Natividad winning, Chris Grutzmacher? Who has the best chance? For me, I really feel like Natividad has the best chance to win as a dog here. He's a very skilled fighter, man. He's good, but he's taking on Miles Johns, who's no easy test. But I still put Natividad down. And then, do I want to put Ledet on the lineup? He's fighting Dustin Jacoby, who is a former Glory kickboxer. I don't like that pick. I think Ledet is going to lose that fight. I think it was hard for me to put money down on him. Jack Marshman, I didn't really like the odds of him beating Sean Strickland. I don't. I think Chris Grutzmacher might be the pick. Thiago Moyes potentially could be on the lineup. Maurice Green in the mix. So for me, looking through it all, my gut really pushes me towards either Maurice Green or Chris Grutzmacher. I think as far as stoppages go, Maurice Green has a better chance. He could probably pull off a submission over Greg Hardy. Whereas if Grutzmacher were to beat Hernandez, I don't know. I don't see high likelihood of that happening. I think Hernandez is just a lot more well-versed, even though Grutzmacher is a very tough, savage, and is fun to watch. I think Hernandez is stylistically a little bit too difficult for him. So that's why I threw Maurice Green on the second lineup as well. So the lineup number 2, you have Uriah Hall, you have Bryce Mitchell, Kevin Holland, Adrian Yanez, Kevin Natividad, and Maurice Green. Now, you guys could probably come up with something on your own. You may totally disagree with my picks. I just feel these could potentially be the best ones for me. But this is the UFC fantasy predictions, the DFS picks. I hope you guys enjoyed this little breakdown. It's a new series that I've been starting. I enjoy talking about the fantasy MMA. I enjoy doing it here and there. I don't do it all the time, but I've gotten a little bit back into it more just because I wanted to talk about it. So obviously you might as well play it as well. So play yourself a little UFC DFS. Head over to DraftKings Sports, or rather not Sportsbook, because that's where you make the actual bets. But head over to DraftKings and put your team together. You don't have to put a crazy bet or anything like that. You can play a $2 game. They even have free games. But give it a shot. See how you do. You can let me know in the comments what you guys think of my 2 lineups. I think they're both decent. Maybe not the greatest lineups possible, but at the end of the day, anything can happen when the cage door closes. And those are my 2 lineups that I'm confidently riding with. And I'm going to take it as it is. And maybe we'll win something big this weekend. But all right, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Also, guys, follow my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and I'll see you all in the next video.